What is up, you guys? Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you are new here or you just happen to stumble upon my channel, I hope that you'll check me out, check this video out, and then consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm your girl EVE, and this is the F Effects. All right, y'all, so I feel like it's been a minute since I've done a proper sit down video. So I was like, girl, chit chat with the people. Okay, so I wanted to come on camera and just kind of talk about the things that I've been into. I guess you would call it a favorites. It's kind of a favorites type deal, things that I'm interested in, looking forward to. Kind of like that, you know. I just wanted to chit chat and just reconnect with you guys on a personal type level, if you will. But before we jump into the things that I have going on, I hate to start this video off on a sad or somber note, but I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge Jessica Trim. So I learned a couple days ago that Jessica Trim unfortunately did pass away. I don't have any details of the sort. But thank you, Marcy, for sending that note to me. But when I saw that, you guys, my heart dropped. If you are part of the fragrance community, then I am almost certain that you are aware of who Jessica Trim is. She is one of the sweetest people that I have never met in person, but through the internet, she gave off such sweet vibes. Not only that, but if you ever had an inquiry about a fragrance, there was a 95% chance that Jess had that fragrance and she would go into her collection, decant it, and send it to you. That's how sweet, that's how considerate, that's how generous she was. Now, there was a time where she sent me a bag full, y'all. When I say bag full, a bag full of just different fragrances in her collection that she wanted me to get my nose on, and a few that I talked about on other videos that she took note of and sent them to me. And one of the fragrances that I was so kindly gifted from her own personal stash, was Ruby Naga from Stefan Ombert Lucas. This is a Harrods exclusive. She sent me a sample of this. I fell in love with that sample, and she sent me her bottle, y'all. She had only used not even a fourth of this up before she decided, you know what, it's not really working for me. You liked it, so I'm gonna send it to you. Y'all know these don't come cheap, not one bit. She could have easily posted this for sale on Mercari or Poshmark or what have you to recoup some of her funds. But no, she decided that she was going to gift it to me because I enjoyed that fragrance that much from the sample that she sent. So things like that leave a lasting feeling and impression on you. So when I tell you I was heartbroken to hear the news of her passing, I was definitely taken aback. I was not expecting to hear that. So my heart, my thoughts, and my prayers go out to Jess's family, friends, close and loved ones. You guys, if you have ever connected with Jess, then I know that you feel similar to the way I do. So I just wanted to spend a few moments just talking about the great person that I never got to meet in person, but the great impression that she made on me, and I'm sure several others in the fragrance community. So with that being said, Jess, I hope that your beautiful soul is resting peacefully. Okay, so let's just get into it. Pure Ombre. This caused or raised a tiny bit of an uproar because of the price tag. I understand. I understand. Calm down, relax. I understand. Now, I will say that because I added my review on top of the vlog, there was a lot of chopping up that I needed to do. So I feel like I didn't give a whole lot of details and context behind this fragrance, primarily around the pricing. Okay, it's still $1,000 and I still paid $1,000 for this fragrance. But I want to talk about the girl math of it all right? And not even that I have to explain myself to anybody because the price is the price, unfortunately. I still stand behind the fact that I don't think it's worth the price, but I do want to provide some context behind this purchase, okay? So what's funny is my girl Chi Chi did a video about girl mathing and buying new fragrances, but she had a balance in her Mercari account for fragrances that she had sold, and she later on bought new fragrances off that money that was sitting in her Macari account. Well, I actually had a similar situation, okay? So when you buy fragrances, that is essentially a sunk cost, because if you try to resell it, you are most likely not going to recoup the full cost of what you paid, right? So the great thing though about having a large collection is that when you are no longer vibing with a fragrance, you can most likely sell it and recoup something. You won't recoup the full amount, but something. So I had a balance in my Macari account that I was just kind of holding on to because I knew eventually I wanted to buy new fragrances with it. I just wasn't sure when. So I kind of knew it was a stash that I was just saving for my fragrance piggy bank, if you will. So when I realized I was going to Paris, and once I had my list of fragrances that I had on my radar that I wanted to pick up, I knew that that money was there for me to spend towards new fragrances. But I still was not aware of the price of this when I bought it. I was ignorant in that space of not doing my full research, like I said, and then just allocating the funds how I thought I was going to allocate them. Now, how the girl math comes into play is, yes, this was $1,000. It was. Again, overly expensive, not worth the price. But I only came out of pocket during this transaction $480-ish fresh new dollars. The rest of the money came from Macari. So I withdrew that money from my Macari or transferred it over to my bank account. And then 480 something fresh new dollars went towards this fragrance. Okay. So I just wanted to provide a little bit of the back end details that went into this transaction. Again, I'll be honest, I'm thinking in my mind that my little reserve was at least going to get me 1.5, maybe 2 full fragrances before I had to go in my bag and pull out my card. But no, this ate it all up. It ate it all up, which is why I only picked up 2 fragrances. So those are the details behind this purchase. Is it astronomical? Absolutely. It is. It is. It is. All the things that are being said, it is. But I am also aware, you guys. So I am checking in with this about once a week, maybe a week and a half or so. Spraying it like on the insides of my elbow just to see how it wears. And I'm still around that 45-minute mark before it just kind of disappears into nothing. Yeah, I still feel the same about this fragrance, but I wanted to also provide a little bit more clarity. All right, so if you watched my blog, then you know I talked about the oils that Skin Potion had sent me maybe a couple months ago, and it was their summer capsule or summer drop. Y'all, when I tell you, I feel like it's some of the best oil scent profiles that I have sniffed in a while. Empty, okay? So R&R, I want to say I said this was off first impression. R&R was like my favorite one, which I absolutely love this one, but I just finished Island Muse. This is my favorite one, y'all. This is my favorite one. And in my blog, I said that I was going to go and order the big size. They don't make a big size of this. And this size is sold out. So I'm kind of sad that I am without this oil. But when I tell you this summer drop to me was a banger of a drop. So I got sent 3 oils, and you guys can see this one has a little bit left. This one is Ray of Light. This one is a really good one too. But Island Muse is like the top of the list for me. Top of the list. And I also told you guys I had the milk, the body milk. Look at where I'm at here. When I tell you I am loving this scent profile, it just gives me summer tropical vibes. There's like a muskiness to it. There's vanilla, there's pomegranate. It is so incredibly good. And I'm talking this up, and it's not even available to buy anymore, but I just wanted to put my 10 and 25 cents in. It was all that and a bag of pomegranate fruit, okay? This was so freaking good. And this entire drop, this summer capsule was absolutely delicious and a perfect curation of summer vibes. So bravo Skin Potion, bravo Ray, y'all, excellent job on this drop. Okay, so going back to fragrances, y'all, and speaking of my girl Chi Chi, so in her video where she picked up new fragrances, she picked up a bunch of Dior fragrances, and I told her in the comments that my Belle de Jour, which I have this huge bottle, okay? And the juice is nice and dark too. But I have this huge bottle of Belle de Jour. I believe she bought back Belle de Jour too. I'm happy for you, girl. She had it before, she sold it, and she got it back. So I'm happy. But my bottle of Belle de Jour no longer works. And I'm kind of sad about it. So I went to go spray this one day because I was in the mood for, you know, an ice cream kind of vibe. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nothing is coming out. I am spraying the atomizer. It doesn't work. Now, my girl Abby first mentioned that she had a malfunction with one of her bottles from Dior. And I believe she took it back to the counter or called or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But she tried to get them to address the issue, which is understandable. This, especially today, this ain't cheap. So when I bought this, it wasn't cheap. I don't remember the price, but it wasn't cheap. But I know the prices have gone up. And she didn't have a pleasant experience. And so that kind of has me feeling away. Like, I don't want to deal with pushback from Dior on a bottle that I purchased, man, maybe 4 years ago. Maybe 3 years. I think it was 3 years ago at this point. But I've had this for a while. So I don't know that I have a receipt still to show them. I don't know what they would do, right, to help address the situation, but I want to be able to access my juice. I don't know how I would do that safely without having to break the glass, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. But I'm hoping somebody from Dior, I'm eventually going to have to reach out, but I'm hoping somebody from Dior will be pleasant and nice enough to help me with this issue, because I can no longer utilize my juice. This is sad. This is sad, and this is too much to go to waste. All right, so there's a drop on every corner, seems like. Every other day, there's a new fragrance drop. And I've said this in the past multiple times, but I can't keep up. And I refuse to keep up at this point. But there are a couple that have caught my eye. And y'all, when I say I'm excited about it, excited. So I did a video kind of wrapping up, I believe, 2024, all the fragrances that I purchased for 2024, and like what was my favorite. You guys know that I deemed vanilla powder my #1 cop for the year. Look at my dent. Look at that dent, okay? So I was already contemplating going ahead and picking up another one because I don't want to be without this fragrance. But did you guys know there's an Extrait version that is now out and available? I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. I gotta have it. I want to get. I'm very, 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 very tempted to blind buy that fragrance. But then I took a look at the price. I was like, ooh, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, okay? I'm still recovering from Pure Ombre. I'm still recovering from that purchase, but I am heavily, 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 do you hear me? Heavily interested in the Extrait version, and I'm almost certain that I will pick it up here soon. Yeah, this fragrance profile has me in a complete chokehold. So the Extrait version, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. The only real reservation outside of the price is the fact that there is a potential that I won't love the Extrait as much as I love the original. Because with Gris Charnel, y'all know I love that fragrance down to the ground. Down to the ground, okay? And when the Extrait version came out, it was an immediate yes. Blind bought it, got it in. I still like it a lot, but I don't love it like I love Gris Charnel. Like, it's very intense. Which for the wintertime, it's a banger, but there's just something about the original Gris Charnel that just has my heart. And so I don't even want to say that I was disappointed in the Extrait, because the Extrait is extrating. So let me rescind that comment, because the Extrait is doing exactly what it needed to do. I just find that it's a very intense wear for me, because it's heavier, it's woodier, it's more intense. So that is also why I have a little bit of a reservation about just hopping on this blind buy train for the Extrait version. So I definitely want to get my nose on it. I would love to get my nose on it and sniff it out first before I even attempt to put some coins together and buy that bottle. But I definitely have to let you guys know, if you love this one, there's an Extrait version out, okay? And if you have sniffed it, please let me know in the comments what you think about it, because the way that I love this fragrance, I feel like I'm gonna love that one even more. Okay, even more. So let me know if you've sniffed this one down below. Okay, so the other fragrance that I am heavily anticipating, it has not dropped yet. I think the official drop date is September 1st, but it's from Initio and it's called Lift Me Up. You guys, I sniffed this one. Okay, shout out to my guy Lewis at Neiman Marcus. He had a little sample on stash, and when he saw me, he was like, "You got to smell this." I said, "Oh, word? What is it?" He said, "It's a new one that's coming. You got to smell it." So he sprays it on my hand. I'm like, "What is that?" He said, "It's called Lift Me Up and it's coming in September. Get your nose ready." Y'all, in love. In love, in love, in love. It's like this buttery, floral, sweet. There's vanilla in it. I got a hint of something like bright and airy in the opening. I don't know if it's Oris or Ylang Ylang, but it was buttery smooth and it was absolutely beautiful. And I told him, I need that. I need that. And what I love about Initio is that there's not a drop every other month. Okay. So they allow you time to kind of fall in love with the stuff that they dropped like a year ago, 6 months ago, before they come out with the new. But this new that's coming, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the way the vanilla came off to me, man, it was a brief interaction, but it was a beautiful interaction. I'm trying to gauge whether or not it's supposed to be for the summer or if it's a year-round type of wear. But the way the vanilla came off to me, it was creamy enough to kind of, I feel like, hold you through cooler temps, but I don't know if it's thick enough for like winter temps, if that makes sense. So we'll see when September comes around. I definitely cannot wait to pick that one up. But ever since I got done with Must Therapy, I feel like there's been a bit of a gap. I love Must Therapy and I do want to eventually repurchase that one as well. But Lift Me Up, I think, will be a nice replacement for Must Therapy. If I haven't mentioned this already, it's in a white bottle, Lift Me Up. I'll have a picture up if I haven't posted it already. So again, I'm just excited to almost certainly add this fragrance into my Initio collection. All right, so the last fragrance that I want to share with you guys today is from Kayali, and this is Capri In A Bottle. Now, I got my nose on this about a month or two ago, and as soon as I sniffed it, I was like, yeah. I need this in my collection. Kayali was in Houston not too long ago. They had a beautiful event, looks like, at the Post Oak Hotel. I would have loved to have been there, but I understand I don't post fragrance content on Instagram. I do, but I don't, you know. But it would have been nice to have been in the place to mingle with other creators in the fragrance world and to get my hands on this bottle there. But you win some, you lose some, but I am definitely happy to have this in my collection. All right, y'all. So that's it for fragrances. I wanted to kind of just pick your brain on what else gets you going from day to day. I really hope that you have other hobbies and interests outside of fragrances. And not that I'm telling you what to do, but it is so easy to get consumed by buying fragrances that you can kind of lose yourself and forget about your other interests. So this is kind of the reminder to look up and touch a little grass, step away from the fragrance bottle just a little bit, you know, slow down rather. I'll say slow down, do some other things, diversify your interests. So what other hobbies do you have going for you? What kind of keeps or piques your interest from day to day? I know for me, you guys know I work out, and working out for me is more therapeutic than it is a hobby, if you will. Of course, I want to keep my body in shape. My health is important to me. I'm also trying to mitigate because the way I like to eat, honey child, I like to eat. So working out is my mitigation. Working out just does a lot for me, but primarily it's a mental therapy type of deal. So I wouldn't categorize it wholly as a hobby, but I have been really thinking and considering getting into like a dance class. Child, I don't know what I was in a past life, but every time like I see like a cute little move or dance in my head, I can do the dance. In practice, ugh, not necessarily too much. But in theory, it always like comes through perfect. So I said, you know what? Let me look into possibly getting into like an adult dance class and seeing how I enjoy that. Fun fact, when I was younger, my mom enrolled me in a ballet class and I didn't understand why. I hated it. But there's like 2 or 3 ballet moves that I still remember to this day that I'll never forget. And just in hindsight, I'm actually grateful that my mom put me in ballet classes. But yeah, I just want to get back to exploring other interests and other hobbies and just things that make me happy outside of fragrances. So this is your reminder to explore and really sit and think about what brings you joy outside of smelling good. I mean, smelling good is like, honestly, it's a fundamental thing that we should all practice from day to day. So, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? What makes you happy? What gives you that extra push to want to do more of that? Let me know what that is in the comments down below. Okay, so now that we have touched grass, we've explored other hobbies and interests and things that make us happy outside of fragrances. Do we still have goals that we need to tick off our list for the rest of the year? We have 4 months left in 2025, y'all. That just baffles my mind at how quickly time just seems to fly by. I I can't believe it. So we're in August, September, October, 4 months. 4 months. So this is your other reminder. Check in with yourself on the goals that you said you were going to complete for this year. What is that? Even if it's just one thing on that list that you wrote in January, one thing. What is that? And if you haven't written anything down, because I know some people believe in goals, some people believe in resolutions, whatever that thing is that you were going to get done this year, even if it was in your mind, I'm going to challenge you to write it down today. Write that thing down. All right, y'all, not to get in a preachy space, but just to provide a little encouragement for those who just need some push into getting themselves going, finding the things that truly make you happy outside of fragrances. So I hope you explore that. Take the time to explore what other hobbies you love and also check in with yourself on your goals and your promises and your resolutions to yourself. Don't forget to do that before the year's up. All right? So, until the next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you more than you know. Okay, so until the next time, I will see you on the next one. Bye.